Hello, this is Hector, and today we're doing video number 3 of our aging process of our tequila here. I'm extremely excited to actually go in there and taste it, smell the tequila, and see if our aging process actually worked. So if you remember, we have our white tequila, our blanco, sorry, and then we have our reposado tequila. And last time we tasted, the reposado was a little bit smoother than the blanco. So let's see what we have this time. Here we have our tequila. This has been aged, I'm gonna say about 2 months, 8 weeks. The directions said after 7 weeks, it's the most that they can, be aged. But here we have our blanco tequila. It's divided into 2 halves, here and here. And as you can see, the color is really dark, more of an extra añejo almost. Beautiful color. No color additives have been added at this point, but you can just see the beautiful color on both of them. Remember, if you see that bag there, that's actually a little bag with a piece of oak inside, just in case that piece of oak deteriorates. It doesn't actually go into the tequila, since I don't have a filtration system that I would run this through. In the back here, we have the tequila that we started with was a reposado. And here we have our 2 halves. Again, really dark, beautiful color, that extra añejo at this point. But we did start with 2 different tequilas. And if you remember, during our mid-tasting, after 3 weeks, the reposado was a little bit smoother. So I wonder if that's gonna stay consistent on these 2 tequilas, or maybe the reposado still even smoother. We'll find out during our tasting. It has been extremely fun to actually sit down and watch this tequila get darker and darker. Here we have our blanco and our reposado, and let me put those up to the camera here. But here you can see they're pretty close to the same. I can probably say that the reposado is slightly, very slightly more brown than the blanco, but I really want to get into the smelling it and definitely the tasting it. So let's start off with the blanco. Well, that oak did a great job on the smell. You can smell the vanilla, the caramel, the sweetness almost to it, the oakiness. It did a great job. I mean, this is probably has more essence than even an extra añejo that I would buy. So that's the blanco. Let's see the reposado. You can get the same tones of vanilla, caramel, a little bit of oakiness in it, but the alcohol seems a little lighter in this one. So the alcohol level in the blanco, it's probably the first smell you smell, and then of course you get hit with that oakiness, caramel, vanilla. And in this one, you still get the alcohol smell, but it's almost blended with the vanilla at the same time. It's that same level. So it is, I'm gonna say that they're both slightly different at this point, okay? So, in the way you smell them. So let's go ahead and taste them, because that's the part that's really gonna make a difference here, okay? So start off with our blanco, of course. So the blanco, remember I started off with an espolón. It's not a very expensive tequila, so you do get a little bit of that bite. And the blanco, you still have that little bite in it, but of course, after you get the agave, after you get the alcoholness in it, then you get that vanilla to go with it. Okay, so it's a like a refined blanco, basically. Now let's check out the reposado. If you remember, when we tried it after 3 weeks, the reposado was a little smoother. I'm gonna say it's still a little smoother. In fact, the reposado gives me a little bit more of a warmness to it. I still get the same smells, the same flavors, but it's a little bit smoother and a little bit more warmness to it, and especially like around the mouth. But I would say I would say start off with the reposado if you're gonna age something. If it's the same price or a couple bucks difference, just go with the reposado and age that reposado. You get that almost the same colors, you get the same smells, but having started with that smoothness, it definitely helps in the final product. Okay. The whole point was to try and see if there's any difference. And what should you start off with? So at this point, I would recommend you age any tequila at this point. But if you can, start with the reposado so that you can get that slight smoothness from the beginning, and it just carries it through the whole aging process. Like I said, the blanco still has that little bite of the blanco, and I would much rather the reposado starting off with. But I love the smell. The smell is just incredible. I've never smelled a tequila that is this strong, this potent in the nose with the vanilla. The vanilla and the caramel and the oak. Wow. Well, I hope you guys get to do this project. Like I said, I purchased these items on Amazon. It's an oak spiral, first off. Then I bought the little tea bags just to put the oak spirals in there so that they don't deteriorate while you're aging them. And then mason jars, I bought them at my local grocery store. In my case, I bought them at Walmart. So those are pretty easy to buy there. And of course, I started off with the espolon. I just wanted to see what the difference was. Since Blanco and Reposado were the exact same price when I went to go buy it, I purposely purchased one of each. Okay, I wanted to take this experiment a little bit further, one step further, and see if there's any difference. Well, there is. So start off with the reposado, something not too expensive. I recommend Espolon. I recommend maybe 1800, something that's not going to break the bank, because it definitely is going to be your first time. Now, once you've done this a couple times, I would definitely move on to something more expensive, maybe an herradura, and see what flavors or smells you get there. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get something different. I hope on my next experiment, maybe I can start off with an herradura. It's a little bit more expensive, but I wanna compare it to these here. I wanna see if it gets the same smells. Maybe that smell, those flavors come from the oak spirals that I used. Well, I have enough to actually try them out, and maybe even be even smoother than these. I'm super excited. Hope you guys have fun. Comment below and tell me what you guys think. Do you guys want to do this? Have you guys done this before? And tell me what product you received at the end. I'm super excited. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you guys later.